Our favorite Dr. Melissa Clark. And Dr. Melissa Clark, you do a Facebook Live program on Monday nights, correct, at 9 o'clock?
That is correct. Facebook and Instagram Live.
And you call it Keeping It Real?
I call it Real Talk with Dr. Melissa Clark.
Yeah.
Because that's what we do.
Yes, we talk real. And I wanted to have you on today because normally we have you on Tuesdays. I wanted to have you on today because there's been like so many new developments of what's going on with this COVID-19. They're finding that it does a lot of other things like causing blood clots and things like that. I want to point these things out because they're opening up the malls around the country this weekend. And I thought, you know what? I needed to have Dr. Clark on so we can reiterate the consequences of going out there and not social distancing.
Absolutely. Opening up doesn't mean that our risk is decreased. It's actually increasing now that we're opening back up because there are going to be more people interacting with each other, and therefore the spread of the virus has a potential to increase significantly. So I say continue to practice the behaviors even though we're opening up. So stay at home if you have no reason to go out. Hand wash, wear a mask, don't touch your face. Don't let people in your house who don't live there. I think that's really critical, even family. And stay 6 feet apart. And as far as the strokes go, that's actually very true, Russ. There is a greater increased risk of strokes among African Americans anyway, even without COVID-19. 30 to 60% times what the risk is for the regular population. And we are seeing more strokes, more heart attacks, more blood clots in individuals with COVID-19, and more blood clots in the lungs specifically. Doctors are treating this, but there is a correlation between African Americans having a higher stroke risk and I think a higher blood clotting risk, and what we're seeing with COVID-19 in terms of more African Americans succumbing to the disease.
You know, a lot of people don't understand that. Well, you and I were talking the other day about 80% of the deaths in Georgia and in D.C. and so on and so forth. It's us. There is a fear. And my wife brought up a good point. She said some people don't want a bill, number one. People don't have insurance. But there is a fear to go to the hospital because you think you're going to get COVID. Would that be accurate?
And no, that should not be accurate. As a matter of fact, specifically around the clotting or any of the other symptoms, but specifically with the clotting, you want to get to the hospital sooner rather than later. People might have heard the word fast in association with strokes. So if you're experiencing a facial droop, arm weakness, speech change, so FAS, and then T, it's time to call 911. And I would say that if you're having severe chest pain, problems breathing, severe fatigue that's very unusual, uncontrolled vomiting, or severe leg pain or swelling that you've never had before, these are times that you should definitely be calling 911. Or if you think that you have a legitimate emergency, don't be afraid to go to the emergency department. We are seeing people die at home who could have potentially been treated in the emergency department had they got there on time.
Now, just so this is not freaking people out, if you go get assistance, you can be treated for some of these things. You can be treated, blood thinners and things like that. But if you sit around and say, hey, I'm just going to go lay down for an hour, that's a problem. Because before what was happening, Dr. Clark, they were telling us, let's just wait until your symptoms get worse, then you go and call somebody and go to the hospital. And because they didn't want a big surge in these hospitals. Now they're saying, you start feeling fatigue. You start feeling, like you said, the droopiness, all these symptoms, you go to the hospital.
Well, I think especially, like I said, with the signs of stroke, that can be treated the sooner that you get to the hospital, the better, because the medicines are effective the sooner they're administered. The same with a heart attack. If you're having severe chest pain or problems breathing, you want to get to the hospital as soon as possible.
Well, I really appreciate this. And the one last thing I want to leave everybody with is that there is very promising news out there when a pharmaceutical company says, okay, we're so confident about this vaccine, we're going to start mass producing it before it's approved. That's going to be, millions and millions of dollars to do that. And that's what's happening with that vaccine that they have in Oxford, in England. And that's encouraging, wouldn't you say? I mean, we're not out of the woods, but that's a big gamble.
We're not out of the woods, but I think it's important to have clinical trials before you jump to conclusions. And so I say remain cautiously optimistic, but we have to make sure that the research is done and that the conclusions are drawn from the research before we put the cart before the horse.
Dr. Clark, thank you so much. And make sure you guys check her out on Facebook Live, 9 p.m. Sunday. And I got a real talk with Dr. Melissa Clark.
9 p.m. Monday. 9 p.m. Monday.
Did I say Sunday? I'm tripping.
You did, but that's all right.
That's the other thing, man. I just haven't been focused. Have you been walking in rooms lately and like, why am I here? I mean, that's what's been happening.
That's part of the overall anxiety that everybody has. We're having to adjust to a whole new way of life, and it's causing us to be unfocused. So that's totally understandable.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Clark. I really appreciate you taking the time.
All right. Thanks, Russ. Have a great day.